Welcome to the Sci-Fi Horror and Fantasy Show podcast. And now, here's your host, Ron Donahue.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to the Sci-Fi Horror and Fantasy Show podcast. I'm your host, Ronald Donahue, and tonight I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Mario Lazo.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
And Mr. Jeff McIntosh.
Good evening.
So, tonight it appears that we are coming from all over the country. Mario's in Texas, Jeff is in New York, and I'm down here in Florida with the AC on because it's sweltering outside. I understand that the weather conditions and where you guys are is much more, how can I say, nice than where I am at right now.
You know, I've got a Florida question for you.
Okay.
I've read recently that people in Florida will actually mosquito net their backyards. Is that really a thing?
I ain't never heard of it before.
What? Mosquitoes what?
A mosquito
I
net in the
had read that
backyard?
people will mosquito net their backyards to keep the insects off.
I ain't never heard of that before. But now what they can, I mean, you can, there's some stuff that you can get. I can't remember what it's called, where you can light them in your yard or what have you. And yeah, they have mosquitoes down here, but you just have to be smart, like at different times of day, because they're the worst, like early in the morning, right? Dusk. And they're really bad at nighttime. Like, you know, when it starts to get dark, don't wear dark colors outside. That attracts some dark colors. Don't leave, you know, flower pots with water around, because then, you know, that they lay their eggs and then you have more. I mean, there's stuff that you can do, but overall, nah. People maybe
Is it true that they carry off your cats and dogs though?
Now, maybe again. Now, this is South Florida I'm talking about. Now, I don't know, maybe up in, you know, some other parts of Florida, whatever, where they're around the lakes and stuff, I'm sure there's probably more mosquitoes there than anywhere else. Maybe they do, but I don't know anybody who's ever done that.
I think the thing to do be get us. I don't know how you can bring dragonflies to your neighborhood or to your residence, because those are the ones that eat the mosquitoes.
Yeah, man.
You know, how do you attract dragonflies? You know.
Yeah, mosquitoes.
Mrs. Dragonfly.
Right, those are the heroes, man. Those dragonflies are like amazing.
Dragonflies, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So Screen Rant is reporting that after 28 years from the original film that came out, Event Horizon, it's getting a hard-rated prequel, but it's going to be in comic book form. IDW Publishing is putting out a new series that's going to be coming out called Event Horizon Dark Descent. And the whole premise is that it's going to take place it's a prequel telling us everything that happened on the original crew for the Event Horizon movie. So it says it's embracing a hard R rating of the shocking movie Event Horizon Dark Descent, which actually came out, the original Event Horizon came out in 1997. It's a 1 of 5 issues, will lightspeed jump into comic shops this August. It's taking place before the events of the film and completely accessible to new readers. This is an unbelievable story of the final fate of the original Event Horizon crew. What really happened to Captain Killpack and the first crew as their ship journeyed across a nightmarish realm of torments beyond imagining. Abandon all hope as demonic forces led by Paimon, the eyeless king of hell, unleash agony and pure evil upon the crew in a gripping story. So, 27 years later, but, you know, it's coming out as a prequel in comic book form. What do you all think as far as, do you think this is going to introduce the original Event Horizon story to a brand new generation? You think it's a good idea that they're doing it this way? What say you, Jeff?
Well, my would be okay. So they sent out a team. I don't remember the movie too well about in regards to to they had discovered already the lost spaceship.
Well, the Event Horizon ship, as I
Yeah,
recall, it disappeared, and I think
right.
it reappeared like all these years later, and they
Right,
went
right,
to investigate what happened.
right. All the crew was dead. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the premise of the movie is going to be what happened to the crew.
The original crew that we never found
Right,
out
exactly.
what happened.
So that's a premise of the movie.
No, it's not a movie. It's a comic book. It's going to be
comic book. Okay, well,
yeah,
comic book. Okay. So okay, I can deal with that. I mean, how far in advance prior to the losing the Event Horizon ship will they go?
it's going to take place, I guess. So as I recall, with the Event Horizon, it was some experiment that they did, which ended up putting them into that other dimension. So whatever it was, whenever it's going to take place from the time that the ship launched until the time they did that experiment would push them in that other, world or whatever. Then that's where it's going to take place. It's going to take place once they go, I guess, into that other dimension, the evil dimension or what have you, that we saw starting to happen in the movie. So it's basically just the whole story about what happened to that original crew. What say you, Jeff? What do you think about it?
Well, I think that what we can imagine is often scarier than anything that we're going to read or we're going to see. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much the backstory is going to necessarily improve on the enjoyment of the original movie.
Uh-huh.
And I would imagine that the movie being, 25, 30 years old, a lot of the individuals who read comics probably never heard of the Event Horizon movie anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's true. As I recall, it didn't really do like fantastic at the box office. Right now it's sitting with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 35%, but with IMDb it's a 6.6 out of 10. Now, and Metacritic is at 35%. I always thought it was pretty good. I mean, I always thought the whole premise was really creepy. I understand that there were certain scenes in that movie that they had to they never put it out. They never put it in the theater because it was just, I guess at that time, too gory, just too far-fetched. They couldn't put it in the movie. It was that bad. But I think it's a good idea. I mean, I'm biased because I do like the movie. So to me, it is kind of interesting to say, well, okay, let's see what happened to that first crew. What was basically the first domino that tipped, that caused everything to happen, that eventually we saw, how it turned out for the crew of that went after, to see what happened to them. So yeah, I'm kind of interested. I mean, I think it might be interesting.
I mean, it's kind of like the ending of The Wizard of Oz when they pull the curtain back from the wizard, and the wizard is saying, "Ignore the man behind the curtain."
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, 28 years later, it's going to be coming out later this year in August, I believe. The first issue is going to be coming out. I'm going to get it. I'll be getting it. I'm going to be collecting all of them and checking them out. I think, like I say, to me, I think it's kind of interesting. But like you say, Jeff, who knows? Maybe I'm more hyped. Maybe the ideas I'm thinking are going to be more scary than the book will actually be. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So let's move on. Bloody Disgusting is reporting that the Jason Universe Horror Inc. celebrates Friday the 13th's 45th anniversary with a new logo reveal. So I'll start off with I've seen the Friday the 13th movies. I think I've seen all of them. I'm not the biggest Friday the 13th fan, to be honest with you. especially the original ones. Like, I guess when you go from 2, 3, 4, every time everybody goes out to Crystal Lake, everybody gets, slaughtered. But let's wait a couple years and let's all go back out to Crystal Lake again. And guess what? Everybody gets slaughtered again. I saw Jason X. I saw Freddy versus Jason. I'm not a big Jason fan, but what they're doing is there's a prequel that's supposed to be coming out, a series called Crystal Lake, which it's going to be on Peacock. Peacock is going to be doing it. And from what I know, what I've gathered from it, I remember there was a comic that came out that was about Jason's mom when she was pregnant with Jason. And it's a whole big thing about Crystal Lake. There was some type of Indian curse, I believe, that happened. So that's why all this weird stuff happened, Jason and the whole 9 yards and whatever. Either or. What do you say, Jeff, concerning the new logo reveal and the news that they're going to be coming out with a Crystal Lake series that's going to take place before the very first Friday the 13th movie?
Well, I'm like you. I've probably seen most of the Jason movies. I saw Jason in 3D. I saw Jason Goes to Spring Break. kills all the members of the fraternity on Daytona Beach. I think their Friday the 13th movies have come and gone. They were a product of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They're a subgenre, and I won't use the original word, but I have heard these movies referred to as intercourse and die movies. It's the young people that are engaging in sex and drugs, and these are the first people that are killed.
Right.
And the virtuous young woman is the one who is still alive at the end of the movie.
Right.
She's the what they call these days the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
Is there still a market for all these slice and dice movies and TV shows with no character development, and the only thing to recommend is gratuitous amounts of the violence and gore?
Yeah, I'm kind of like you guys too. I think the last Jason, am I correct? We're talking about
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. I think the last one I saw was Jason Goes to Beach Blanket Bingo. I don't know.
Exactly.
That's one of the little known AIP movies.
Yeah, again, and I go with this one. Who are they going to target with this one?
It's just
That's
a story.
question.
Like I say, it's just a whole story that takes
before the original.
Before the first movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I wish him well, but you're not going to get me unless somebody tells me, "Hey, it's a great movie." Then I'll go see it. But if not, yeah, I'll pass on it.
You have Peacock, Mario?
They're up. What's that?
You have Peacock?
Yeah, I have Peacock. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be on Peacock. It's going to be a series on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It'll be a series.
Well, they're updating it, and they're making one of the victims a middle-aged Cuban man from Florida.
Yeah.
Is this pre-1980s? Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you both. They still have some slasher films that come out once in a while, but I think it's like you say. I think that was what was big back in the 80s. Been there, done that. I don't really hear a lot of people call them back. Yeah, man, we want another hack and slash, movie. Perfect example. My opinion. This is my opinion. They redid they did 2 times they've redone. First Rob Zombie, but that's trash movies. They redid the last Halloween movies, right? Remember with Jamie Lee Curtis? So in essence, they said the first movie was the only one that really took place. And then now how many, like 30, 40 years later, Michael Myers gets out and he was still alive. I mean, the movies were horrible. I mean, really, really bad. So
now, my question is this. Does Peacock have the budget to make something worthwhile, something good? Like we saw the preview for 28 years later.
Right.
And you can tell they spent their money on the film.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So if they spend their money on it, I wish them well, and I'll catch 1 or 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if I see it's a low budget, reprisal, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and remember too, horror movies are about the cheapest movies to make. It doesn't take a lot to make them. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know what they have planned. Like I said, I'm not waiting on pins and needles to find out, but I don't think it's going to be just like a blood and gore thing. I don't think that that's what they're going for. I think they're going more for this so-called mythology behind, Crystal Lake and everything that's, caused the slaughters that eventually happen. But like you say, we'll see what happens. I mean, if it happens. If they say tomorrow they cancel, like, okay, but, I don't really care much. All right. Well, let's move on again. So next, I got some bad news for you, Mario. I
read your. Don't bring it out. You're gonna make me cry.
I feel bad for you, man.
I'm gonna throw against the wall. My laptop's on it.
So DC has officially canceled the Sergeant Rock movie that was supposed to be made. And what's even worse, the premise sounded so good. I mean, I didn't even have an idea. I figured it was going to have something to do with it. It was going to have some kind of supernatural element to it. But the premise sounds so good. It sounds just like an Indiana Jones film. Well, let me rephrase it. One of the good Indiana Jones films.
Right.
So the premise is, it said it was given that the majority of Sergeant Rock's adventures take place in World War II. So it's no surprise that the Sergeant Rock film would have been set during that conflict. Here's where the story takes a turn for the unexpected. Not only would the script see Sergeant Rock joining forces with a female soldier from the French Resistance, but he would have also gone on a quest to find the Spear of Destiny before the Nazi forces could get their hands on it. The Spear of Destiny, used by Roman soldier Longinus to pierce the side of Christ, often endows its user with mystical powers. It made an appearance in Legends of Tomorrow, where it was revealed to have the power to warp reality itself. So now that we know that was what the premise was going to be, I got to tell you, how can I put it? Me personally, I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait for this Sergeant Rock movie because I didn't have any idea what it was going to be about. But I can tell you now, my heart kind of sank when I heard what the premise was going to be, and now it's not going to happen. Mario, you're the Sergeant Rock fan. What do you say?
Man, I don't know what to tell you. I really, really don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I'm a bit, I don't know if it seemed like they didn't have enough energy or backing, or I don't know what the proper term would be for it to succeed, you know?
Right.
And I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you.
What say you, Jeff?
Well, I've changed my opinion. I know originally I said, another war movie, another World War II movie. Haven't we already seen enough of World War II?
Right.
But I actually would be I would have been interested in seeing something on Sergeant Rock and the recovery of the Spear of Destiny.
Right.
I think that could have been a good movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it had the power to bend reality,
Mhm.
would Sergeant Rock be tempted to do something so that World War II never started?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Well, the one thing, Mario, we can say what might happen. I mean, this was not in the article. Incidentally, this article came from Collider. The one thing that is possible, they could maybe eventually, because it sounded like the script was really good, they could maybe make this into an animated film, an animated movie. And like, DC's animated films are always superior to Marvel. Always.
Yeah.
So if we don't get it in live action, maybe we might be able to get it in animated down the road at some time or other. I'm hoping so. Really, now I'm really, crossing my fingers, hoping that that's something that eventually they'll bring it about, because that whole premise, man, that really sounds really cool. Just like I said, like an Indiana Jones film or something. All right, so let's move on. Total Film is reporting so just like Marvel Studios has phase 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know what phase we're on now, but basically every DC movie and TV show that's supposed to be coming out. So starting off with we're talking about now with the James Gunn DC universe. Now we know that Superman is coming out. Now the James Gunn DC universe actually kicked off with the Monsters animated series. The what was it called? Not Monsters Unleashed. The
Creature Commandos?
Thank you. That's them. That was how his whole universe kicked off, with the Creature Commandos. So next is Superman. Superman is coming out July of this year. Next after Superman is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And we've already seen from the commercial we're going to see her in the Superman movie. So that's scheduled to come out June 26, 2026. Next, Clayface. It's scheduled, and we had just talked about Clayface just a week or two ago. We were talking about that. It came up. It's saying here that the release date is supposed to be in September of 2026. It's James Gunn gave the thumbs up for it, and that's what we talked about last time, because he said that the story was written so well, it's so good, but it's gonna kind of be like a one shot. It's not gonna really be in the DCU, so we're not gonna see Batman down the road fighting Clayface or anything like that. At least not at this point in time. But it's going to be kind of like a standoff film that's supposed to be coming out. So then we have Batman Brave and the Bold. We don't currently have a date for that. That's going to be the Batman film where Batman is going to actually be with his son, Damian Wayne, as Robin. We don't know when that's supposed to be coming out. They had here, and I guess they didn't get the news before we did. They had Sergeant Rock, but we know Sergeant Rock is not happening. So then there's supposed to be a Teen Titans movie. It says that the Teen Titans are also getting a big screen movie from DC Studios, as per the Hollywood Reporter. Next, we have the Swamp Thing. The Swamp Thing, once again, we still don't have a date for it. They haven't given us a date for it, but the Swamp Thing movie is supposed to be coming out. And then we have The Authority. So I guess for those who don't know who they are, I guess you could kind of liken the authority to The Boys. Their whole thing is they're gonna do what they think is right. Whatever they believe is right, it doesn't matter. They're gonna do it. So if it means, hey, like you say, you gotta break a few eggs, break a few necks, kill a couple people to do what they think it was right, hey, so be it. So that's who the authority is. So there's supposed to be a movie coming out with them. Then we have the Dynamic Duel, which is going to be an animated movie, which is going to have both Dick Grayson. These are all Robins. Everybody who fought with Batman. Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. And it's going to be like origin stories for them. So that's supposed to be an animated film.
Hey, Ron.
Yes.
Ron,
yes.
I was looking at my computer at the time, 1919 or 1910. I can't see with my damn glasses. But I see the 4%, so that means I'm going to lose you real quick now because I'm only 4%. And, I left my cable at Sal's house. So if you don't see me talking or anything like that, I'm out.
All right. Okay, no problem. No problem, Mario. And then lastly, I guess it says that it was widely reported that J.J. Abrams and Black Panther scribe Ta-Nehisi Coates were joining forces to develop a Black Superman movie. I had heard about that before. Name that actually got up was Michael B. Jordan. Was supposed to be involved. I don't know if it was with them, but I had heard about that because on not the Earth, main Earth, but they have 1,000 different Earths. There are some other Earths out there where there is a Black Superman that has superpower just like Superman, but it just happens to be a black man. So anyway, what say you, Mario? Since your time is short, what say you about these movies and animated series coming out? What do you think?
Well, I do like my DC anime, and I think DC's going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago that I saw the preview for the Superman on the big screen. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't tell you. Did I tell you all I saw? The Thunderbirds.
Oh, you mean the I know what you. No, not Thunderbirds. The Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. That's it. Thunderbolts. Yeah.
So
I enjoyed it.
So what say you? What do you think? Do you think like you say, it's going in the right direction? So you think this is good?
There seems to be more energy behind it. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I can't say what I saw in the movie because I don't want to ruin it. But I was hoping, me, I'm always hoping that DC turns the page and start producing some quality stuff.
Right.
And I think they have that position now where they can produce quality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all in for it, honestly. And like I said, they do great anime. Yes, so I wish them the best of luck. I'll see a bunch of them, even before you guys review it or hear a review, because I enjoy them. There are a lot of DCs, that I enjoy. So hopefully, they'll start cranking them out. And they've got a lot to select from. I mean, if one doesn't work, well, try this other one,
That's true.
So I'm wishing them the best of luck.
So then, along with that, Jeff, here's some of the TV shows. They have Peacemaker 2. Peacemaker, the second season is coming out August of this year. The Green Lanterns movie with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart is supposed to be coming out in 2026. Waller, that's to be announced. They were supposed to be making a series on Amanda Waller, I guess, telling her whole backstory and everything about her. There was supposed to be a Blue Beetle spinoff. I never saw the movie. It just didn't I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. I never saw it, but there's supposed to be a animated Blue Beetle series, and then there's supposed to be a movie. I had heard about this for a while. Oh, not a movie, a series called Booster Gold. They said the first time he ever showed up was in Smallville and Legends of Tomorrow. He's basically a guy from the future who came back to, I guess, our present time now to be a superhero. So, he's got some futuristic gadgets and gizmos. Then there's the Adventures with Green Lantern. That's going to be another animated series. And then finally, Lost Paradise, which is supposed to be, this is according to James Gunn, this is set well before Wonder Woman was even born. So it's basically going to tell the whole story about Themyscira, the island where she's from. So what say you, Jeff? What do you think about the TVs? Mario told us about the movies. What do you think about these new TV shows that are coming out?
How can you beat Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
Yeah, I can't even do my Ryan Reynolds impersonation, which would be something like, what is it? By brightest day, by blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight.
Yeah.
Okay, insert applause.
One day I'll get around to watch. I mean, I've heard it was so horrible. Even he was cracking jokes on it when he did the original Deadpool movie. I've never seen it, but I heard it was just terrible. Have either of you watched Peacemaker, the first season?
I have not. I think it's only on Max, and I don't have Max. So.
I gotta tell you, that show was absolutely amazing. John Cena, say what you will, that guy can act, and it was so funny. He's a villain, but by the end of the series, you really have he's actually grown on you. Because you can see the character development. He's not the same person he was at the beginning of the series. By the end, he's a completely different person. And so you see, even from the trailer, he's trying to take off from there. He's trying to be the good guy. He's trying to do the right thing. You know what I mean? It was really, really amazing. So, yeah, I really hope that they can keep up that same momentum with a second season of Peacemaker. It looks like it from the trailer that came out. It looks like it's going to be just as good. I don't know. None of these really float my boat, to be honest with you. I mean, because none of these characters, I'm not a big Green Lantern fan at all. Amanda Waller, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I mean, the Blue Beetle, I don't really care much. And then Booster Gold, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, he was kind of a comedy relief in the Legion of Superheroes, because he had stolen some gizmos from, I don't know, like the 25th century, and then came back to Earth to be a hero because what he wanted to do is he wanted to make his bank.
Right.
Hey, I'm going to save this. Boatload of tourists from going down, and then I'm going to charge them, and I'm going to get rich, and then I'm going to go back to the 25th century.
Yeah, I think the only other one that I can say is kind of piques my interest is the Paradise Lost, the whole story behind Themyscira. It's saying basically the premise: how did this society of women come about? What does it mean? What are their politics like? What are their rules? Who's in charge? I don't know. To me, it sounds like it's going to be kind of almost similar to maybe like a Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Maybe not fighting dragons and walkers and all that kind of stuff like that, but that's what it kind of sounds like to me. I don't know. I really did like the very first Wonder Woman movie. Let me be very clear. The very first Wonder Woman movie was awesome. The second one, let's not even talk about that thing. But DC's, I mean, like, I agree with Mario. I mean, they have a great plan. I mean, for the future of all these different properties that are going to be coming out. So, it just remains to be seen, how well they're going to be done, or like we found out earlier, if some of them are going to be scrapped or not. We never know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, DC Universe, and I'm assuming they're still out there. I should say the website, DC Universe, the website.
Mhm.
They did do a live action of Teen Titans.
Yeah, I saw.
Which I saw a couple, and I just kind of thought, well, I can save my subscription money for something else.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the original first 10, 11 issues of Swamp Thing that were done by Bernie Wrightson. Now, after Moore took the book over, and he wasn't Swamp Thing wasn't Alec Holland. He was actually an elemental, and he was part of the Green, and his job was to safeguard the Earth, and he could appear anywhere. I just like, well, this isn't the book that I really wanted to read.
Uh-huh.
I did see a couple episodes of the Swamp Thing TV show on DC Universe,
Uh-huh.
and I thought that I'm going to use the word dark, not to use that in talking about the storylines,
Mhm.
but I just couldn't see what the heck was going on, because they weren't really lighting it in a way that I could really appreciate
Mhm.
what the heck was going on. So I saw a couple episodes, and then I just kind of said, I'm not feeling it. So
Yeah. For me, it was like Smallville was like the WD Superman, the Titans was like the WD Batman stuff. It wasn't.
and they had two animated versions of the Titans,
Right.
and the first couple of years were pretty good because they actually fought supervillains and had their trials and tribulations. And then the last few seasons, they just took all that stuff out and they dumbed it right down.
With that Titans Go.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I really wanted to watch it, and and I would watch it every so often on Cartoon Network, and I would say,
Is this too
"This
stupid?
is just garbage."
Yeah, is this too? Funny. My daughter used to like that show. Oh my gosh, it was so stupid. Oh my gosh, it wasn't even funny remotely. But we'll see. If they're gonna put money into a movie, well, let me say this now. They actually did film a Batgirl movie, but they said it was so bad they never put it out on. They never put it out on cable. They never put it out anywhere. So I guess we're never going to see it. They were saying that's just how bad it was, but they actually did finish it. Let's hope.
Well, they did. They did Halle Berry as Catwoman, and you know how many sequels that got.
Yeah, it's true. Well, okay, we'll see. Like I say, it looks like I agree. I think they're on the right path. I mean, I think they, out of all the different properties they have, I think that, they could be potentially pretty good. So, once again, we'll see what happens. All right. So next on the deck, the trailer is already out for Tron 3. It's called Tron Ares. Now, this is, well, let me say this. I will always in my heart, I know it never did very well at the box office for Disney, but I will always love the original Tron movie. That to me, that movie is just amazing. I mean, when I first saw it, to this day, I can watch it and still, I think it's an amazing movie. And for anybody who's interested, there was a really great documentary that came out in 1982. You can actually watch it on YouTube. Just type in The Making of Tron 1982. It's amazing. The technology that doesn't even compare to what we have now, but these new technologies they were using that were really at the forefront of the industry of computers and all this stuff back then. Really, really interesting movie. The one thing that we do see from the trailer, which is going to be different, because I saw the second movie, the Tron Legacy, and I thought I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. This one, the difference between all the other movies is now the computer world people in the computer world, Ares, and I guess other people are actually coming into our world. So in first, Jeff Bridges went into the computer world. Then the second one, his son went into the computer world to find him when he went missing. So now the computer world is going to be coming into our world. There's a scene where I guess it was a cop car chasing one of the light cycles, and he puts the light cycle on and it cuts the police car right in two. So what say you, Jeff? What do you think? You think this is going to be a decent movie, or what do you think?
Well, I have very little experience with the Tron movies.
Really?
They are video game movies. Not really a gamer.
Right.
So, I saw bits and pieces of it. I think Bruce Boxleitner was in it, and
Right.
Cindy Morgan from Caddyshack was in it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than seeing some of the graphics when they would get in those cars and they would make like hard right or left turns,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing to base it on.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
I would tell you so realistically, the Tron movie, the original movie, came out first, and then the video game came after. So I know, a lot of times it's just the opposite. They'll make a video game and then make a movie. But the movie actually came out first, and then they came out with the video game. I would tell you, watch it, man. Watch. If nothing else, watch the original one. I'm sure you can find that like anywhere right now.
I wonder if it's on Disney, because I do have Disney.
There you go. I'm sure you can find it on there. I'm very biased. I think when it came out, I was probably 11, 12 years old. So I'm biased. I thought the movie even then was amazing, and to this day I'll still watch it. Once or twice a year. But we'll see what happens. I mean, again, I wasn't impressed by the second one. The one thing I can say, at least it does seem kind of cool that now that the people from the computer realm are going to be in our world. That's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. But we'll see.
But they'll only be in 2D.
That would be too funny. Okay. So next we go to the director, Mr. Jake Schreier. He was the director of the Thunderbolts movie. And incidentally, I know Mario said before he left, he saw the Thunderbolts movie, and it appears that he really liked it. Well, it seems like so does everybody else too. Because the movie came out on May 1st. The budget was $180 million. And as of right now, it's saying worldwide box office, it's grossed $177.3 million. So they're going to make that money back, right? It's and I haven't seen it, but I've heard other people talking that it's already leading into to future films or whatever. Maybe not the Thunderbolts, maybe something else down the road. But even the thing that was funny to me about it is that they're saying that some of the characters from this movie we already know survived because they already said they're going to have a show in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday movie. So we know at least, we don't know all who survived because I haven't seen the movie, but we know some of the Thunderbolts survived anyway to make it to another day. So the director, Jake Schreier, they're in talks with him to do a X-Men movie for Marvel Studios, meaning we've already seen, we already know we've seen our first appearance of the X-Men. I mean, for anybody who hasn't seen it, I mean, the movie's been out for a couple of years. Plug your ears for a minute or two if you don't want to hear it. At the end of the Marvels movie, Photon ended up in in another universe where the X-Men were there because she was actually conversating with Beast. So they kind of have actually made their first appearance in the MCU Marvel universe, but I guess this will be their Marvel's first X-Men movie. I'm not a big X-Men fan, especially the movies that have come out. To me, the only one I thought was decent was what was it? Days of Yesterday Past, was it? I think it was. That one?
Days of Future Past,
Days
I
of
think.
Future Past. Yeah, Days of Future Past. I thought that was a good movie. I really did enjoy that. But as far as all the other ones, man, and I've never been an X-Men, even as a comics. I've never really been into X-Men at all, to be honest with you. Wolverine's okay and whatever, but I've never been a big fan. So what do you think, Jeff? Seeing now that actually, this guy Schreier, he knows how to make a good movie, and this would actually be Disney Studios, their first X-Men movie. So forget Fox and all that other trash that came out before. This is going to be Disney Studios making an X-Men movie. What do you think? I mean, do you think it could potentially turn out good?
I think so, depending on what characters they use. I mean, I followed the X-Men comics for years, and the what I'm going to call like the original X-Men, they had like Havoc, and they had Banshee and Iceman and all these other ones, and then I don't know what happened in the comic universe, but they brought on Storm and Cyclops, and they brought on
the new X-Men.
The new who's the guy that has he can change his body to organic steel?
Colossus.
They had Colossus that was in the new X-Men, and I don't remember seeing him in anything other than the Deadpool movies.
Right.
I don't know if he was in any of the other X-Men that are out on Disney, or I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd welcome another take.
Me too. I mean, and what I always tell people is that, just like the Fantastic Four movies, everything that we've had thus far has been garbage. But I always remind people, this is Disney Studios now. We're not talking about Marvel with Disney. They don't, for the most part, they put out a couple movies that weren't great. But for the most part, I am really excited about seeing this Fantastic Four movie. I'm not a big X-Men fan, but seeing that Disney Studios is taking the helm of doing it, it piques my interest. So, I might actually, it might be one that I actually, consider checking out or what have you. So, lastly, for the evening, My mouse is giving me a hard time here. We have our question of the week. And our question of the week is, if you could name a character, either from sci-fi, fantasy, or horror, that came out, say, from the years 1950s to the 1980s, and you could see a new movie with that character, made for that character, who's the character you would want to see up on the big screen? What do you say, Jeff?
My wife?
You want to see your wife on the big screen?
No, you said a new version. So you notice I whispered that so she couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
Obviously, Creature from the Black Lagoon. We haven't seen a new creature since mid 1960s. Even though Guillermo del Toro's movie Shape of Water was his homage to the creature of the Black Lagoon, because he could not get the rights. So I would like to see a modern version of the creature of the Black Lagoon.
But you know that's coming out, right? You knew that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Well, it still doesn't mean I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think is it James Wan is supposed to be directing it for Universal. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, I agree. That is my favorite Universal monster. So we'll see. Hopefully, again, it does get made. I thought about it, and it's kind of hard for me to pick just one. But you know who I want to see? I would want to see the another Phantom movie. I really like that character, the Phantom. And we did have a movie years ago. What was it? Bill Zane. We saw that. It was okay. It was all right. But I would like to see like a newer version, more updated version of the character.
Phantom,
and I'm gonna cheat.
Phantom.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna cheat. I'm one more I'm gonna throw in here. I want to see a good Tarzan movie. A good that's where I'm specific. A good Tarzan movie. Not the animated Disney stuff. A really good movie. Because again, the ones that I've seen, other than I'm biased. To me, I think the greatest Tarzan movies I've ever seen were the old black and whites with Johnny Weissmuller. Those were like just awesome. But
I do have some 8x10 colored glossies of me in a loincloth if you want to see them.
I would love to see a brand new Tarzan film. You know, an updated. I mean, not when I say updated, I don't mean Tarzan now with an iPhone and all that kind of stuff like that. I'm just saying, just a newer film with that character. So yeah, that's what I would love to see.
I might also go with Forbidden Planet. Who would they pick for Leslie Nielsen's role? Yeah. Who would they pick for? I want to call her Altoona.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now that Anne Francis is passed,
right?
Who else could they get that would do justice to that?
Well, knowing that they're gonna make that movie, and it's funny. I can give you a name right now. I'm gonna throw out a name, and just because you said that, because we never talked about that when we talked about that quite a few episodes ago, that they were coming out with a remake of the Forbidden Planet. I can tell you who I can think would be decent for Leslie Nielsen's character. Who's the guy? I'm trying to remember his name. Who plays Captain Kirk in the new Star Trek movies?
Robert Pine, I think, or somebody Pine.
Yeah, I think that's him, Captain Kirk. Oh, I even have a better name for you. Okay, right. It's Chris Pine. Chris
Okay.
Pine. That I think him, but you know what? I'm staying in the same Star Trek family. Give me a second. That's Captain Pike. I tell you who I think will be awesome. Our Anson Mount. He plays the new Captain Pike on the new Star Trek series.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Enterprise?
It's called Strange New Worlds.
Okay, yeah.
Captain Kirk has always been my favorite Starfleet captain, but after watching this series here, it's kind of close, man. Captain Pike, because you remember he only showed up in a couple episodes of the original series, not many, before William Shatner came in. But now to see, how Anson plays this character, man, he's really an amazing character. You know what I mean? He's much different than Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk always kind of had that swagger. He's not like that. He's a great captain, really good, really cares about, his people, whatever, but he just has a different style of being a captain, and he really plays that role very well. But seeing him as an actor, I could definitely see him in that role. I could definitely see him playing in that role. Now, who would we have for what's her name? What was her name?
I think it's Altoona.
Let me see. No, let me see the cast here. So this is the original cast. Her name was Alteria.
Oh, okay. Hey, I was close.
Yeah, Alteria. And then you have Dr. Morbius. And then all the other people, Robbie the robot. Yeah, this is what I hope they don't do. I hope they don't really change Robbie the robot to look like something that he doesn't even look remotely like the other. Just keep everything else. Change everything else, but keep Robbie the robot the same, man. That's gonna really piss me off if they change, like they did with the robot in what you call that, Lost in Space movie. He doesn't even look like the original robot. Well, it's a whole bit backstory behind that anyway. But
danger, Ron Burgundy, rain danger.
Yeah, exactly. So I see Anson Mount as his name was Commander. I can't
Adams.
see Adams, right? For Anne Francis. So if they have Anson Mount as him.
J-Lo.
Oh please! Oh no! Don't even curse that movie.
I'm just so and so from the block, which is actually we're actually on where are we? All-Star 5 or All-Star 4?
Yeah. Anson Mount is like 52 years old, so he's probably a little bit older than Leslie Nielsen. I know he was younger. He's older than Leslie Nielsen was when he played Commander Adams. I'm trying to think of somebody around in her, maybe say like late 30s. Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I'd go for that.
That would work. Maybe Scarlett Johansson.
We could go and we could lobby the toy companies to. They could, a line of Scarlett Johansson dolls.
And I have it for Dr. Morbius. What's his name? Dr. Lecter. Odin in the Thor movies. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can't think. I know who exactly you're talking about. I can't
That's
put a name
Anthony
to his
Hopkins.
face.
Anthony Hopkins. I could see him playing that role. How old is he? Anthony Hopkins
He's in his 80s?
He's 87. So he could have a daughter, like, and let me see how old Scarlett Johansson is. Scarlett Johansson is 40. Yeah. So he could have had a daughter. Yeah, that would work. She could play his daughter. Hey, this sounds great. We should write our own Forbidden Planet treatment, Jeff. Without J-Lo.
You know, there was an episode of, and I don't remember the show, but they were playing Trivial Pursuit. I think it was on Cheers, and they were playing Trivial Pursuit. And every time they came to Cliff, he gave the same answer, and it was wrong until the one time that they asked the question, he actually had the right answer, and he couldn't think of it. So I mean, for me, it's like, who do we like? J-Lo.
Yeah. And she can act. Now, don't get me wrong. She can act because I did see her in this movie where she played this assassin that had to go, and I think she had to rescue her daughter or something like that.
Yeah, it was on Netflix. Yeah, I saw that.
So she can act, but that's not her. That's not a role for her. All right. Well, anyway, we'll see. Hopefully, it would be funny if the people we're choosing to play those roles actually play those roles. But we'll see. Anyway, I want to thank
Welcome to the Sci-Fi Horror and Fantasy Show podcast. And now, here's your host, Ron Donahue.
Yeah, we're starting all over again.
It was such fun for the first hour and a quarter. We're just going to go ahead and completely redo it.
Right.
It is our gift to you, our listening public.
Yeah. So, anywho, I want to thank my co-host, Mr. Jeff McIntosh, and for the time that he was with us, Mr. Mario Lazo. But thanks again, everybody, for listening. Hey, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for the show, please drop an email to us at drbloodstone@gmail.com. That's DOCTOR bloodstone@gmail.com. And once again, thanks again, Jeff. And good night, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.